take a look at, you'll see some different individual feeds there that will be a crazy, unique way to watch Fortnite competitive for the first time. I know everyone at home looking forward to seeing their top players perform. This place now, Ninja, is insane.
Oh, it's packed,
I mean,
man.
This is one of the most ridiculous arenas I think I've ever seen for an esports event, and I know people flooding on in from the outside.
4 months.
Yeah.
The best of the best, all in the same lobby. All right, in the qualifying matches on Sunday, you're playing against, in a lobby, maybe like 4 or 5 of the teams who are actually here right now, but now this is going to be all of them in the same lobby. Every single battle is going to be the best players in the world fighting against one another. I'm excited to watch the early game when they're landing in their spots. I'm excited to watch the mid game during the rotations. I'm going to be taking notes, and you guys should too.
Yeah. Also, other things that note to take to bring up. We're going to be playing on siphon settings here, increased material forming. Do you want to explain for everyone at home exactly how that all works?
I'd absolutely love to. So unlike normal matches, when you get an elimination, all right, you're going to be granted with 50 health or 50 shield, depending on what you're missing. And that's also going to give you 1 point as well. They also drop 50 mats of each, wood, brick, and metal. So, eliminations are definitely going to pay off early game as you guys can stack up those materials.
Yep, and remember, that is when you get a full elimination, not when you knock down an opponent.
Correct.
So, if I knock a player, you'll see in this, a lot more times, teams will immediately try to finish that elimination, get the health, go pick up the materials, maybe secure some extra loot. There's a look at the lobby screen, and, Ninja, I was laughing with you earlier when the players were warming up earlier today because they got some warm-up games, and obviously, for many of them, it's their first time in a major LAN event. They wound up going through and they were just sitting at the spawn island like they were right now. I mean, look at the build battles happening on spawn island. They're all editing. They're all aiming. None of them are just sitting still. The nerves running through them insane. The average age in today's tournament, 16 years old. Some of these guys are going to walk away with $1 million+ this weekend. At 16, what did you expect?
And they're not, if they're intelligent players, they're going to play exactly how they've been practicing the last 10 World Cup qualifiers. They're going to go exactly where they go. They're going to push, they're going to push. I don't care who it's going to be. Now, me, honestly, I'd like to say that that's how I play. But, dude, in a situation like this, I think that if I saw someone contesting my drop, I'd definitely defer and try to go somewhere else. Yeah. But, you have one bad game. Getting over that's going to be a huge mental obstacle, right? You get knocked first. Yeah. That's going to be something that I'm just excited to watch these kids dominate the next freaking 4 hours, 6 hours. I'm ready to stay here all night.
Hey, I'm down to stay here all night. I have no problem with that. I'm sure the arena is as well. When you talk about LAN events, right, you have so much much competitive experience. You've been to so many across different games and genres. The one thing that stands out to me, though, it will never feel the exact same as it does as playing at home. So for these guys, what are some tips that you can share you think that they should kind of take into account as they're playing, maybe on LAN for the first time?
We'll do what I always tell people when they're saying, you know, hey, Ninja, going to a tournament, any advice, right? You know, it's, dude, do exactly what you do at home. If you wear socks and, you know, no shoes at home, that's what you're going to do. If you don't wear any socks at all, or you wear sandals, you wear that. If you wear nothing but sweats and PJs when you're gaming and practicing, that's exactly what you should be wearing right now when you're competing, right?
Yep.
Don't try to change anything up. Drink what you normally drink before the games, water, energy drinks, whatever the case may be, or, you know, eat what you're going to eat. Do not change anything up. It's very important to get in that mental state of practicing the entire time at home.
I've even heard of stuff as far as like don't change your sleep schedule. Absolutely, but it's like literally take it like it normally is. Now, again, we talk about how there's $30 million on the line in the Fortnite World Cup Finals across today and tomorrow, but $3 million in prize money given away this weekend. That happened yesterday at the Creative World Cup Finals.
Plays, and we're here in the player lounge right now, joined by the winners of the Creative World. How does it feel now to solidify that title?
It's driving, it's awesome.
Ever believe that you guys would secure the position here today?
His team, $1.3 million won. I'm going to address the elephant in the room here. It's not Tim the Tabman. You didn't win that, Tyler.
That's correct.
Exactly happened here.
That's correct. No, we got 4th place, but, you know, the crew that I picked out, man, Tal, Taco, and Kaz. Just a good bunch of kids, man. I mean, I think, and I also got to meet a lot of the creators, the ones who developed a lot of the maps. And just a lot of passion from these guys, man. And, you know, I was really happy that I was able to, not even me, together as a unit, just pulled in, you know, 295,000. I mean, little wins, man. You know, we were just killing it. Little ice. But that event was so incredible. And it's another thing that kind of came out of nowhere again, that Epic changed the game with creative. You know what I mean? It kind of here.
And again, I know I talked to Scissors. I can't believe just how far it's gone. His runs he made to now it kind of inspired one of the 3 maps yesterday for you. What was your favorite? Was it kind of the top run, the
Junkyard Still 32 people. It's so much fun, man.
I'm with that. What about, would we get some squad together or not?
I'm down with. Oh, we totally should. We should get a massive content creation squad and go into that. It'd be the most funny thing in the world. I mean, there's nothing greater when you're a little teddy bear and you're just walking around like trying to make it in. It's amazing.
It's all fun games here. Obviously, the theme of this weekend. Going on outside of the fan festival, there's also the Battle Pass redemption. Everyone here has got tickets, has commemorative tickets. So many things to look back on and remember these moments. There's a lot of people here, whether they're players or the fans who travel traveled. It's their first time to New York City, such a legendary, iconic place to have this major event. You see again the crowd continuing to build in, just getting to the final set up for the game so we can get it all going for you. But we're all eagerly awaiting the start as well. So many organizations represented throughout the weekend, and I have just received the word that we want, Ninja. The game is ready to go.
I'm ready. The first duo, man. Who's it going to be, guys? You have to scream out your favorite duos right now, man. Let's make some noise.
Who do you think's going to win today? Scream it, make it. Gibberish.
I think I hear Mongrel, Mitro.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Duo Cup.
This is going to be intense. I mean, there's nothing more, honestly, nerve-wracking than the initial launch. Off the bus, man. You're flying. Someone's going to die. Someone's going to be eliminated. Who's going to be the first one? Yeah, I want to be the first one knocked out in the World Cup. I mean, literally, I knocked him, like, you know, in the first game in the Pro-Am, and that was just amazing. He can't let that down. I don't want to be the first one to knock him miss.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. We immediately hop on board. Dominate today, Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage heading right towards Happy Hamlet, a place they've gone home so many times, and this is contested.
Contested.
You're flying on into here, Ninja. The early game so key, and already Benji Fishy trying to put shots down range with that revolver, but area is contested. You see they're kind of split from each other right now. What are their comms like in this exact moment?
I mean, I think right now they're just going to be trying to hear exactly where these guys are, footsteps, any type of they've been practicing this landing. I'm pretty sure I watch these guys play literally every week because they're from Houston. They were before and they come here. And yeah, this is exactly where they normally land. They don't always land on top of one another. And you're honestly at a disadvantage if you land in the same house. Less shields of one another, right? Less chances of getting shotguns and things like that. And I'm just interested to see how they're going to play this out. Are they going to be aggressive? Or go back down?
Well, we just saw the zone has been revealed that it is northern side zone. Happy Hamlet not safe. Paradise landing all not safe. We get to despite 98 players remaining right now in the game. Now we mentioned the increased material farming right now, so you're hitting a couple of threes, you're getting 20, 30 materials like it's nothing. Let's shift our focus towards the middle of the map here at Dusty Divot. It looks like Landshot and Crusher. Wow, very early in this first game to Tetra and road members. Another fight going on towards Fatal Fields, and with how little materials there are, you got to think these players down low who are already just on light HP are in a tough spot, and there it is. Scarlet and Bell get the quick elimination onto Brush. And that's going to push back Brush's duo into Fatal Fields and try to hide for a brief moment. Another rough start right there. So much stone in Fatal Fields. I feel like Fatal Fields is a underrated landing spot.
I think you can get everything in Fatal Fields. You definitely get wood and bricks very quickly, and then there's definitely some metal that you can gather around. You know, there's a bunch of it's like that. Some tractors there in the sticks. But listen, man, I'm really curious as to why they're not pushing this.
Well, it's kind of a double. It's a double-edged sword too, because yes, Sizz is by himself, but we've all experienced how easily you can hide in that brush there in the cornfields. And Sizz Lucky, these top players who land Fatal Fields know how to actually navigate the loot in the corn without breaking the corn. So
I need to break the corn every time.
right, say I'm not good enough to know, but there's a certain app you can go on, and Lucky will actually be able to go back and pick up Rush's cards. So this is key.
You think you should go for it?
Bands, remember, when you get brought back, you only have 100 HP and a common pistol. That will bring a lot of attention over. If you are Scarlet and Bell, are you sprint back from that fight? I think so. Now across the map, though. An engagement going out between KBD, Urang, and their duo up against Vinny and Zexro. And then
somebody's 1-by-1 right there. I mean, there's another knockback from shotgun, just absolutely wreaking havoc. Urang trying to take the ball. I think it's not going to be able to stay alive. All you have to do is play this patient. I'm pretty sure that these guys play it out. He's healing up.
Yeah, Zexro has minis as well as big shields. So get back to full shield, and Yuang now in a tough spot. Do I try to go?
Definitely can interrupt this now. He's going to start going with the res, but it looks like he's just going to be going for the reload, taking the might be difficult. Maybe trying to. He's definitely staying aggressive, but he's going to get the revive off, and now it's a 2-on-1 again.
Staying confident though, knowing right now still at over 150 HP, the teammate has to be at 30 health. The ball comes through, and it's not going to happen. And you see Zexro right there, hands right through his head. Drop down to 59 HP, but with that elimination, we'll bump back up to over 100. Very, very close right there, Ninja, with the drum shot.
Right now, a lot of these players, there's a lot of there are plenty of people who are outside of the rotation. This is actually a lot of very talented players with their aim can clean it up. The strategy was try to get in those spots where
earn those extra points and wind up getting those placement points to come on through. Watching Letwick and Quexy right now, it's so scrappy, Ninja. It's not your normal game where you get to load up and freely grab everything you want. Here, I mean, look at the inventory. A common heavy assault rifle, 2 heavy bullets.
Yeah, I mean, people are not going to be able to loot. They're not going to be able to loot normally. I mean, you have every single spot is definitely going to be contested, or have talented players who are surrounding you. You got to be constantly worried about getting sniped from the side. All it takes is 2 seconds of being caught off guard, and you can get dinked twice with an infantry rifle, and boom, there goes 160 health, man, just like that.
89 players left now in the lobby as Wiz and Cover H, the duo, do get cut down. 45 duos remaining. The second zone has just been revealed, and again, Storm Surge will begin after that. I absolutely think it's going to happen. That will be for 70-plus players, so keep that in mind as this goes on. Players who haven't really done any damage will know that they're going to be at a point where their hand is going to be forced. They're going to have to be fresh, and you're going to see the game here. There's Snappy and Red Rush. Already in the next zone, they're more than happy to just farm out this metal structure and claim it as their own.
They're actually very centralized as well.
Yep.
I mean, it's a really great strategy that we're going to see a lot of people going to be using throughout this weekend as well, and in duos, is to just try to get in the center of the second zone, and honestly just kind of pray that the circle is going to continue to rotate in favor. I mean, I'm still looking at a lot of these guys' inventories. One guy just gets knocked in front of him, like going to try to save his team. It's not going to happen. There's not a lot of rotation items. I haven't seen a lot of shockwave grenades. I haven't seen a lot of shadow bombs. I don't see any launch pads in his inventory. Yeah. It's going to be such a rotation play game are going to be nuts. He's going to get lasered out of the sky.
And Letwick now all by himself in a 1v2 with his teammates that go down. You see Harpy and Volks still quite healthy between the two of them. Over 140 HP for both of them. Harpy still playing the slow ground, trying to spray out the opponent. And look at the material count. 130, but I don't believe Letwick was able to grab his teammates' reboot card. So we'll basically...
He's got 106 above. You guys can see that, which means that there's somebody who has 106 less than them that currently below the threshold. That need hit some people, deal some damage. You don't necessarily only want people moving around in their one-by-one. You're gonna have to fight them when you force them to break out because players need to get around that or they're gonna die. You're not gonna be able to make it.
Now moving towards the Dusty Divot Diner. You see Clicks and Skeptic. Yeah, the very young duo from NA. You just said yourself, I didn't even know you could farm this.
You get down there.
This is the beauty of it, right? The top players in the world showing off the little things that they know that really no one else can pick up on. Many teams already stacking here as there's so many materials to pick up. And for a lot of players, once they get max, they don't just stop there. They keep farming to have an excess for more if they need to expend a lot of materials quickly. On the bottom right of your screen, you see a fight going down in Salty Springs. A lot of grenades being thrown right there. That's going to be Serpent and Hype.
I think you guys look at the mini-map that we're staring at, every single team is now in. Moving in. Double sniper is in play. For those guys who do not know, a heavy sniper is take out pretty much any 15 to 100 damage.
Yes.
So if you have two teammates, double heavy snipers, shot of somebody hiding in a 1-by-1, be able to take him out.
And that changes the game completely. Once you do double heavy, you no longer sit still ever. Or if you know where they're at, you have to make sure you have at least 2 walls of cover on that side to protect you from the inevitable double snipe. When we say double snipe, it's as far as 1, 2, 3, and they both fire at the same time and catch you off.
Talking about on the rotation items, we got 6 shadows for this guy, and they have a baller, so they're sitting pretty. I think these guys are in a great spot.
Absolutely. And you see the zone did just update towards the northern side of this current storm. Storm Surge is now in play, so players beginning to drop. 80 players in total in this game. They will rotate on out of here. Hyper Circle don't want the fight. And that's Jay. Now quite weak. With Storm Surge beginning to take it. And Lynn now having a push fight. Storm Surge protecting them as well. And you see it just kind of smite them down from the heavens. And there they go. Getting dropped by Storm Surge. Unfortunately for them, not enough damage done. They fall below that threshold.
Situations, but again, a lot of aggressiveness is going to pay off for this. You don't want to be put in that situation. That's great push. Maybe a duo that's better than you in time. And Airwax and Nikov.
That's a replay.
What? Was that a replay? They just went down.
Airwax and Nikov are back-to-back winner of the Pro-Am. Does go down. Airwax double qualified as well. Tough first game for them as they could go out early. 71 players left in this game. 38 duos. Slow crawl as everyone begins to drop. I've never seen anything like that.
No, I think that the only time that we saw numbers like this were in the circle where they didn't really jump that much, they were more centralized as competitive. So really no one had to rotate that much and no one had to fight. So now that these circles are really just kind of moving around the map, you can't really predict them. I mean, you're getting these players who have, again, the great aim and they're just beaming people who are focusing on trying to rotate in the circle. Now look, so many people coming from the south right now. And it's just 3 kills if you guys are in a top position with solid aim, man. You're going to Texture right now, already getting beamed. He's spamming the spacebar, trying to make it as difficult as possible to hit. He sees a lot of, look at it, already trying to figure out right now, where's he going to land? Look at all these people who are already boxed up. They're already creating these tunnels. More shots coming down. And he's going to be able to make it. 8 grenades. So that's going to be, I mean, if he can get in a position where some players are already getting focused on the outside, 8 grenades, he might be able to clean up those kills too.
Yep, that's right there. They do box up in time. Did take some shield damage, but thankfully they have some minis to replenish that in just a few brief moments as there's Eclipse Now using them, he's got his teammate right next door as well. Medkit, so they're going to pop that too. Every little bit of HP matters. Saving the campfire for the late game, it appears. Ronaldo
save the campfire.
In the elimination feed right there. Here's a look at Mongrel earlier with his duo, Mitro. They're set up currently in this zone. 68 players left.
Love watching this guy play, man. I'm serious. I mean, here's, you just check his inventory. Only got 2 guns right now, which is inventory rifle and a combat shotgun, so he has no spray guns. All right, to an SMG, tactical assault rifle, SCAR, anything like that. You know, you've got to have a gun that can pretty quickly to kill players and hit players through their 1x. You know, very difficult. Look at that healing too, though. Yeah. 5 slurps, 2 slurps, 5 chug flash.
And they already have a slurp ticking. This is insane.
Close to the zone as well. They don't have to go too far.
Yep, and material-wise, looking at 135 total builds. They're in a fantastic position to make some noise in game number 1. We'll definitely keep up to date with them. The slipstream slowly inching towards where it begins to shut down a bit, but with so many slipstreams available in the current zone, a lot of players are going to use that to rotate on in freely without using launch pads or the shadow bombs. There's your whole map right there, the eastern side of the zone. None of these players really going to Dubs does go down as a player got that back wall and he wasn't quite ready for it. Mega frantically backing on up, trying to create some space. Will he be able to go?
He's going to go for the top head. He's got to
have the storm surge on.
Trying to be aggressive. Oh, he's still below, right? He's going to need to aggressive. He won't even have time to revive his teammate. Oh, his teammate got finished, actually, so he's got all the shields in the world. He can get back up to full health. Storm Surge is still ripping him apart. That slurp is barely keeping him alive.
Hitting him for 25 damage every time it winds up ticking. There it is again, dropping on in. Mega's hand is forced. Some big damage right there, still below. As players are continuing to drop all around, but Mega doing a solid job of keeping himself alive right now through the Storm Surge. Fantastic composure again, one of the young players on this stage, looking to try to secure the title of Fortnite champion. Now up.
Jaxie's alone. Jaxie's teammates down. Incredible hit to not only make it to the game, but maybe even clutch this win out. He dropped the shotgun. Okay, there you go. Got the combat shotgun, one of the greatest shotguns to have late game. Does incredible damage, long range and close range. And all the guys in the circle just rotated now into the storm. Massive amount of distance needs to be covered.
The storm surge is insane. It's still going on.
Finally taken out. 52 players left. And this is where things are about to get serious, guys.
Thomas is right there for his teammate, Ruja, and you see Thomas, that epic infantry rifle, favorite weapons, Ninja. What is so good about that assault rifle?
It 100% rewards pinpoint accurate players, right? There's no bloom necessary. Your marker, your aim is right on their head. Boom, you're going to get that headshot. You're going to get 80 points of damage. And there's now the upgraded versions, the Legendary and the Epic, have 7-8. So, I mean, just pack the punch, man. It can really catch players off guard. They literally build and protect themselves when they get shot.
5 seconds left in this very, very small zone. We are now on our 6th storm. You see it about to begin to move, and players will frantically have to go across the map. Zate
going to try to take it. You know that if you really want the chance to win this, you're going to have to try to take the high ground off him or have a rocket launcher to just take him out of it.
These are so weakened. Mr. Savage just looks up and beams the player out of the air. It's all Benji, Fishy, and Mr. Savage in the elimination feed right now. 24 players left in this one. But
Almost
20 duos. There's almost no duos remaining, Ninja.
Right, it's all solos, and this is kind of what's going to happen, man.
Mr. Savage goes down.
It's up to Benji, and listen, Benji's been in this position before. We know he can handle it. Nitro's still in the game as well. I just saw him. He looks incredibly healthy, but now taking some storm damage. Benji's just going to try. Look at the materials. Not a lot left. They're only using their shadows. I mean, he has 1 build left. That's it. That's all he has.
He's got 10 total builds.
10 total builds.
He's just trying to outlast as many players as possible. Remember these placement points. We've made it into our top 10 duos. Now into our top 8. Zate and Saf now. Zate and Saf now on the high ground.
This game.
One of the few, the only duo left. This has a Zate and Saf win written all over it. Mitro, Mongrel duo. He's all by himself very early out. Still alive in this one. 40-yard storm now getting beat. Can the North American duo of Zate and Saf close this out? Raining down fire from up top. You see the frantic builds coming in. Benji Fishy goes down. Mega, Mitro, and Scarlet on the low ground. Shots still coming on in. Zate and Saf just sitting pretty.
Mitro just got a double, I think. 5 limbs.
Tries to get it done. Not enough. Zate and Saf, 2 versus 1. Will they take game number 1? Yes, they will.
Zate and Saf had the high ground, and they used it the entire game. Rain fire from above. We're able to make up 5 limbs plus 10 placement points. That's going to be 15 points. Game 1.
Talk about a monster game number 1. You saw the immediate reaction. They know how key that was. And I've watched so many games of competitive Fortnite, Ninja. They were the only duo left with still like 18 players remaining. When they get the high ground like that, they send 1 player down to get close. Scarlet was already weak, and there's just no shot. In the end, the veteran players of Zate and Saf take game number 1. And you know, Ninja, that was a big topic of conversation. Players with LAN experience, players who've been around the Fortnite competitive scene at these major events for a long time. Will they let the nerves get to them? Guess what? The answer is no. Zate and Saf take game number 1.
Kept their composure. It was absolutely incredible to watch, man. And seriously, these guys have been absolutely dominant in the World Cup qualifiers online. And it's only fair that they continue to show their dominance here at the actual World Cup stage.
Brilliant performance. You know that their game plan is always last as long as possible.
Absolutely.
But the fact that they made it through those storm surges, even with them not getting very aggressive, they had 0 limbs down to those final few moments. Mr. Savage and Benji Fishy, we have to talk about them for a second as well. The European young duo, they were on the high ground, it was looking good, Ninja, but so many players focusing them, the shockwave grenade as well, and they had no healing left.
It's unfortunate, man, when you have a group full of these players who are literally the best in the world. They know exactly how to win, right? So if they don't have the high ground, they know that whenever there is a moment, that they have to shoot the high ground out with rockets, shockwave grenades. I think that's actually what happened. The shockwave up and knocked them off the high ground.
Yep.
But when you have fields like they napped it at the end there, and that high ground, it's over, man.
What a sigh of relief
Incredible,
for those two.
Incredible first game, and we're only just getting started.
We're only just getting started. Remember, 6 games being played today in the duos competition, in which $15 million will be rewarded. Tomorrow, we do it all over again, except with solos. So you'll want to stay glued to the streams here for the Fortnite World Cup Finals live from New York City. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Get involved in the conversation. Send a Ninja and I your thoughts after game number 1. Who surprised you? What are you looking forward to in games 2 through 6? For me, other things I noticed, man, you've got to be on your A game when it comes down to taking note of where you are with the storm surge. Those are longer storm surges that have lasted than I've ever seen before.
I've honestly never seen storm surge effective so much.
Yep.
Because here we are going to be eating people left after the second circle. You know what I mean? Like, and these guys, they're not going to let you hit them. You know what I mean? And if you want to put shots on these guys, it's going to be when they're flying in the air rotating, which you also expose yourself to a sniper shot.
Absolutely.
High risk, high reward, man, right? Let's see how these guys change. I wonder if the guys who did get hurt a lot by the storm surge, are they going to make changes in the second game? Are they going to be a little bit more aggressive and trying to deal some damage as they rotate? That's what I want to know.
That's a great way to think of it. I know there were so many people that want to give their thoughts on these games, but over at Unreal Island, we've got our very own Sundown with his thoughts on game 1.
So much Courage and Ninja in the first match of the duos competition is over. The Victor Royale both experience
actually get some good rotation items. I'd love to see how they're going to play in the late game, man.
Placement points so key. You did a great job pointing out Mitro at the end. Not only does he stay alive, not only does he perfectly use his materials and his movement items, but he sometimes limbs, putting his team from probably an abysmal game 1 to top 3 in our leaderboards. Again, here are your standings from game number 1. Dubs and Mega, they wind up making it through as well. And then Mega staying alive, too.
Hopefully they step it up in this next game. Game 2 is about to get on its way, man. Are you ready?
I am ready. Ladies and gentlemen, in this sold-out arena, are you guys ready for game number 2? Oh, yeah, they are. Oh, yeah, they are. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The battle bus has launched. Game number 2 of the Fortnite World Cup Duo Finals is underway.
Again, I'm just going to keep saying it, the most nerve-wracking part of any competition, but definitely Fortnite for me, is the second you jump out of that bus.
Yep.
Right? Once you hit the ground, once these players hit the ground, they're going to definitely have hopefully less nerves, going to get back into the flow, back into the farming mentality. And man, I'm looking at these llamas on my screen. I'm just hoping that they find them. There's nothing greater than finding the new upgraded llamas at 350 mats.
Dude, they're insane. And they're everywhere. And look, wait, can we look at the map? Many players have gotten better at spotting llamas from very, very far away.
I mean, you sometimes you actually have to tell yourself, hey, you should probably look for llamas as we're flying in, because you know, look at the players who's going to be landing next to you. You actually keep an eye out for that adorable pink, purple, and blue llama.
And there's one.
I mean, look, you're just going to get rewarded with shields, rotation, shadow, campfire, minis. I mean, these are incredible.
Remember, materials get capped at 500 each type. So 50, it's done its job. You can spend much less time looting, farming, and much more time looting. And look at Zay perfectly using the Shadow Bomb Ninja. For players at home are wondering how he just used it for way more than the 6 seconds it actually lets you use it for. Explain a little bit of skill on the side of that.
All you have to do is just continue that jump animation. That's going to trigger the double jump. Don't touch that solid ground. You're going to be able to do double bounce back. It's an incredible double jump. Probably going to try something like that. The game off of other people's games. Way more difficult to do that off of mine.
For sure, as we now take as Storm is landing. This Storm is very great to bring up there. We can see on our side right now basically gets cut off by the and Neo tilted, and the rest of the north side of the map are in play. So everyone in the middle and south side will have to move, and you see the elimination being very early on. Elevate does get cut down, so a tough start for the duo of teams right there. You gotta wonder if Arkham is still alive. Either way though, Daedra and M1Z down in Loot Lake, Lucky Landing, and they do have a duo nearby.
Looks like they're trying to optimize away. Lucky Landing is not really a 4-person landing. More than two people land here. One of them is leaving a little handicap. And Yue is fine right now, popping that last big shield, so all the damage that he will take from now on will be permanent unless he gets the elimination and gets.
Look at how good these stick grenades are right now. Scram and off the start of this position, getting ticks. The spray does come on through. A third party, though, beginning to shoot down on a Yuang. So another player puts their at Snobby, but KDB does go down. It's now Yuang all by himself, and no materials left, Ninja.
Can't even take a wall.
They're really, this is an abysmal position to be in. Yuang knows that. Trying to fall back to his teammates. Maybe sneak a revive, but I just don't think
these players really are kind of hesitant. You know what I mean? There is a third party. They don't have a get off the right leg. They're going to push forward. Yuang no shield. And he's going to get a double. He's going to get a double and the revive on KBB. And with some delicious shockwave grenades that just slid down the ramp.
Yuang takes them down. The 4 builds left. I believe there was some help. The shots that that third team getting nearby, which weakened them at first. Yuang gets the cleanup on the last one right there. What a swing for the duo. Shot does come in on the Keys, though, as another fight going down just outside the desert side of the map. Keys up again.
Running out of materials already. Guess what? These guys are at the farthest this fight right now. Definitely going to need these a little bit for it.
That was
and he took the knock on Landjock.
And Landjock and Punisher went down early last game as well, and it looks like Landjock will suffer the same fate here.
Upgraded combat shotgun, you know he's going to take that. Punisher trying to make some plays here. Still, now it is a 2-on-1 situation. Just need to play the numbers advantage. And again, Storm is about to start moving, so they're going to have to make some plays sooner rather than later.
No ammunition. Very few builds. No shield. This spells disaster, and Punisher goes down, and there's the frustration in the player camera right there. Slacks and Keys, 2 quick eliminations. But you mentioned they can't afford to do that. It takes so much time in that fight. They've got to go very far still. Now over to Neo Tilted, Clicks and Skeptic in a fight.
Got some shield. Doesn't necessarily want to use this mini to only get a 10. And he looks like he's trying to obviously take some ult, help his teammate out. No, he's getting taken. There's no trap kill. He's going to get the knock. unbelievable, incredible plays. Bad Sniper goes down, and now he's continuing to branch out. When you guys are in fights like this, you always want to do exactly what he's doing right now, which is branch out, continue to build these little 1x1 pyramids, try to confuse your opponents of where you actually are healing up.
Skeptic just 8 builds left. They're trying to stay alive right now. They do have the number advantage. Clips has time to pop 1 mini, and it looks like they're going to go for it right now. They've made the conscious decision to try to build out, but no. They back up for a moment.
Finally gets a shotgun.
Doctor picked up grenade as well. They want to go for the second elimination, and
We take the oh my god, we got
he
the
just
track
take the L in real life? Did he just take the L in real life? Homie, this is land. This dude's gonna come over.
40,
but the sticks come on in.
Sticks coming in, 22 health left, Campfire down, he has.
Oh, and look who's here!
Third party.
Look who's here! NA puts up the take the L, and EU says, no, no, no. This is the World Cup, baby. I'm gonna show which continent is best. Mitro and Mongrel, full HP, and they storm roll through. Clicks right there.
Down low. Wow, incredible. Look at that kid. Gold star, gold combat, heavy shotgun. I'm sorry, heavy sniper rifle for taking opponents' walls. Look at, they're just stealing and bum rushing, and that's going to be it.
And there's no shot right there. Skeptic. You saw, hey, putting on a show. I love it. The man does YouTube for a reason. But then also, a fantastic player. I think speaks a little bit too soon. Aiden now on your screen. Does have one. Hasn't finished the elimination yet, so still will gain 50 HP if he can get the full. There it is. Now a 2 versus 1. Aiden and Sean. Look at how weak Sean is, though, Ninja.
Sean has absolutely no health. A little bit of shield. Hopefully, we're going to drop some minis here. Abe being the good team that he is. I'm sure he's calling it out right now. But it is also a 2-on-1, and they don't know. We don't know how weak this guy is right now. But if he is weak, they're going to look to try to trade. And there's a double shotgun shot for over 21 white. Players no shield left. Are going to try to put the pressure on. Sean has health, and look how aggressive they're being. They're both one hit. They can actually trap.
They're going for it. They're saying, no, you would have thrown the trap down by now. And there it is. And look at the take from Aiden. The jump out to the side. And they'll be rewarded with shields, with materials. And look, Aiden actually, there was 2 big shields.
Yeah.
Aiden's got the full health.
That's incredible, man.
See the stats so far in this game. Aiden has done 434 damage, has taken 312, and is near back up to max health. I know Aiden is a crowd favorite here. Every time the camera goes on, there's a big cheer from this sold-out arena.
This guy's about to update right now. Start forcing everyone out of the north and east side of the map. And also, guess what? Every single llama was found.
Yep.
All 5 llamas have been found, so we have some probably high material players right now. A lot of rotation. Oh my god, freaking out, man.
You're getting into it.
Looks like a lot of people.
I love it.
Yeah, we're looking around. They're all gone. There's only one airdrop that's left, which means a lot of players. It's very difficult, man. Going for airdrops is super risky. It looks like everyone in the World Cup here is taking their chances.
And what's kind of funny with this zone is you see at the bottom right side of the map, slipstreams are there to basically help everyone get from the southeast, east, and south side of the map easily into this zone. So if you kind of sit outside and wait for players to move to the slipstream, you might be able to see a lot of damage. You might think, oh, well, there's no way you're going to get that elimination. I'm not even talking about that. I'm saying free damage for storms. And that comes into play. It's going to happen very, very soon here. We're about a minute away.
It literally looks like we've been talking. But there's 84 teams, 84 players left still.
Yep. And that's a testament to our observers backstage. Great stuff to them. Lucky does take a bit of smoke damage right there. Chug splashes in the inventory. And Ninja,
like a dolphin.
Chug splashes have came into this game.
I think that, there's a lot of items that can add in. Not everything unanimous. Let me tell you something about these splashes. I don't think I've ever seen more positive, reactions from an item being added than when Chug Splashes were added. I mean, nothing but positivity on Twitter. It was absolutely incredible. I woke up to just delightful posts. Delightful posts.
Yeah.
Those of you guys who don't know what they are, each one, Splash, they come in packs of 2, stack up to 6. They can do 20 health, 4 shield, whatever you're missing.
And they're instant. You throw them down the ground, and they can be used to heal you and your teammates around you as well. If you really want to be a troll, your enemies that cannot. Here are Mongrel and Mitro in the zone, and you talked about this inventory. I'm going to come out and say it right now. There is no way someone in this lobby has a better inventory than what Mongrel has right now. And when you come into this, they were already in your top 3. So they're in a position right now, Ninja, where they have a time you watch Aiden and whoever he's playing with, they are always the most aggressive, it appears.
Yes.
If you remember the famous moment, I think for me, arguably one of the most famous moments in Fortnite competitive history was the Mercs and Aiden duo where they made it into the big bonus about a year ago, and a crowd popped off. Well, they're always scrappy getting into eliminations. Here, the stat popped up for a second. Aiden and Sean had done 680 damage in the game. The average in the lobby was 80. They were 600 above in this lobby already. Unfortunately, though, when you fight that much, there's a higher chance of you going down. Speaking of potential fights, here's Sisllucky and Brush, who we saw earlier on in the last game in Fatal Fields struggle to stay alive. Now another tough spot as they're both low on shields and low on health.
Decent rotation items, 2 shadows on launch pad. Again, I always want to keep stressing that because if you guys have some launch pads, even one shadow can get you into another zone. Yep. It's going to hopefully get you those placing points that you need to get some eliminations. But yeah, as you said with Aiden, we mentioned this earlier, are people going to change how they're going to play, right? Are they going to do anything different in the World Cup? And guess what? I'm pretty sure we can say that Aiden squad is not doing anything different. They're being incredibly aggressive. They're putting the damage down. And unfortunately, there were just too many players who took advantage, but they were weak.
And that was the top 5 leading into this game. You see it updated again right there on your screen where the leaderboard is at. Mitro and Mongrel staying alive,
in a great spot,
holding this pyramid edit. And for people at home who might not know, he's not exposed right there, right, Ninja? He's peeking through his build.
Correct. As you guys are peeking through a pyramid, you hit edit on it. You cannot be seen, right? And you can also see through it. It's a very amazing feature. Fortnite Battle Royale.
What a Battle Royale, the Ultimate Battle Royale experience.
Ultimate Battle Royale experience, man. Blue T is in the storm, taking damage, a lot of damage, and he's still going to be rotating. Road taking damage as well. Thomas going to have to make some plays. And there goes Road. He actually just got knocked. 66 players remain, and this storm is kind of moving a little bit away from Pleasant Park. But it's once you have a high ground mountain in play, I mean, I'm wondering if it's going to go north.
There's 3 high ground mountains in play, and
really mixes it up late game.
A drone ship that people can wind up going on top of, and those are brilliant to use.
Oh, absolutely. If you guys can get up on top of those, guess what? You have ultimate high ground on the map without having to place any mats.
Yep.
It's incredible. You can't get sniped from above, and you can deal as much damage as you want. Also, it's incredibly difficult to shoot there. It's important to know that after the 50 circle closes in, anything like that. Yikes. That's a massive yikes. So you have to pray that someone puts a launch pad down underneath it somehow.
Yep.
And go for it.
Yeah,
just risk it all.
Most of these teams won't mess that up. Now, talking about the game winners, Royale, which is again 10 placement points, the max you can get for placement in these games. It was Zayt and Saf, and they're currently set up in this zone for the moment.
Did they just get the zone as well? Are they the yellow team in the mini-map? I mean, they're close enough for sure. I can see. I think no, they got to rotate a little bit, but look, they got 4 shockwave grenades.
Yep. And they'll be all right. They'll be able to make it happen.
Airwax and Peacock, man. Here we go. They have to rotate too far. Look how many stack players are on this side of the lobby right now. They're all going to have to move very soon.
Yeah. Arkram and Falconer have a tough rotation ahead. Slacks and Keys. Watch them fight a little bit earlier on.
Waiting to pop those heals till his teammate comes in.
Yep.
No, he missed one.
Did miss. No, teammate's full. Teammate's full. Don't worry.
It doesn't matter. Jeez.
Teammate's full.
I was playing with Myth the other day, and he was using a lot of chug splashes without me, so I'm really sensitive on it. We'll let
you and Myth handle that one. As again, it seems like some tension there, but we continue to move on in this fight. This is game 2 of 6, folks. The matches will be going on throughout the day. 62 players left in this one, 35 duos. And you see Arkram and Falconer. Looks like they did a duo shockwave to try to fly across the map together.
Good teamwork.
As the frantic rotation begins to move on in, more Storm Surge will soon begin to come into play as well.
Jack, I have a question for you, man.
Yes.
Once these circles start closing in so small, what do you think is the play? To rotate in right away once it's revealed if you're far out, or to wait and be the last team?
For me, it completely comes down to what you have left, what you have in your inventory, where you are at the leaderboards as well. If I'm in a position where I know I need to make some ground up on the leaderboards, I want to rotate early and try to begin to spray back on the opponents to get some free eliminations.
Yes.
If you get the zone on you, you begin to just build on up and get that height so you can spray on down as well. In this one, though, again, all comes down to rotation. If you have nothing to rotate with and you're far away, I think you play late and hope someone else drops a launch pad near you and use that community pad to your advantage.
Yeah, we're looking over here at Ewing. 3 eliminations, sitting here with some very good materials, and it's definitely a very delicious loadout. Anyone with a heavy sniper and a blue SMG and a combat,
And remember, he started the game at Snobby Shores with that clutch when KBB did go down, so they're still in this one because
has that beautiful blue combat where he clutched it with, man.
Yes, he does, and all the materials he could ever ask for, nearly 100 builds in this one.
See, they're marking right now. I think they have a double heavy sniper combo.
They're either marking double heavy or they're saying, focus this, the zone's closing there.
Gonna find out soon enough. It literally looks like he's marking exactly. He's trying to look and see. Yep,
oh, they do have a double heavy sniper. And Ninja called it, the man knows. They see one. And oh!
You guys saw the pyramid. This is exactly what Jack talked about earlier. You need 2 walls, 2 layers protecting you from one of those walls so that double sniper will not take you down.
But they've got the tools, the key to open all doors, as I put it. And this zone, Ninja,
it just moved over a mountain, man.
It just moved onto the side of the mountain, so high ground will be in play. But at the same time, Ninja, half of the low ground still in play, so it's not as bad a position for the low ground players. Here's a look at Mongrel and Mitro. Remember, Mongrel did go down early on in the last game. He's got to back on up because he's burning through the materials very, very quickly. They're far above this storm surge, so they're good for the moment, and there's the replenish from his teammate in Mitro. 64 total builds left.
Always see them doing this. They always split half and half match with one another, and then they go and collect the others, and it's just a perfect way to show that you guys have equal material.
Look at how weak Saf is. Saf just sneaking up through with that shadow bomb. The spray coming in from Mongrel. This bomb is hit as well. Everyone focusing these players on the outside. They've got the minigun firing too. The lobby now picking up quick as we move into our pit zone.
The storm is closing in, and that's going to be forcing everyone to get into where the safe zone is right now. It is moving in towards Pleasant Park. Guys, this is absolutely insane. 51 players still remain, by the way, in a circle this small. They're just trying to get as many limbs possible as people are rotating in.
Mitro on the bottom right of your screen with that minigun has 631 bullets. Just sprayed down with Mongrel in a fight. Gets one player weak, but does have to back on him.
Didn't get the clutch. Someone else stole the kill from him.
Mitro gets chucked as well.
Still have a launch pad, but again, when you're in a situation like this, low ground, they're getting sprayed with nothing but grenade launcher shots and frag grenades, and they're both going to be eliminated. And Mongrel also, sorry, Airwax just went down as well.
And you see Cease in the elimination feed. Does look like, remember early on, Elevate did go down there.
That loot looks so delicious.
They go for it. Zane Saf, do they do it?
Do you go for the launch pad there and so many materials?
This is game-changing loot right now. They've got the builds to go for it if they want.
They're going to do it.
They're going to make the play.
A gold combat shotgun too, man.
Zane and Saf,
uncontested.
That's one of those risk versus reward plays that can help set them up for 2 victory royales in a row.
Mongrel and Mitro's loot too, man.
Oh, that was
making a
and
statement.
We know that was juicy loot.
Yeah, they're making a statement saying, listen, we're from NA, we're here to play. Taking out the evil, they didn't know they took them out, but they're definitely taking their loot.
Yeah, for sure, as they are still above this
still great rotation items too. They both each have a launch pad, both have 2 shotgun grenades, and they're gonna go. He didn't get it though, they try to get both at the same time. Gonna be flying, and this is it, another massive rotation going to be taken to the center of Pleasant Park. They're 167 damage above the threshold, so they're looking pretty good right now. The question is, are they going to keep mid-ground, go for low ground, high ground? What's the play?
They didn't get the launch pad. He might have to use his own. Yes, he does again, and that actually works out. He hits his head on something, which takes him down from having to, fly all the way up and float and get beat. They're going to challenge high ground right now. Zayt and Saf looking to do what many would think was impossible, which is win back-to-back games in the stacked lobby. Just saw Falconer in the feed as well. Arkram with an elimination too. 19 duos left as we're moving towards the placement points, Ninja, and these duos know exactly that. 3 points if you make it into the top 15, which could be the difference between first and dead last.
What are they going to do? Are they going to prioritize rotation in and not taking damage, or are they going to try to play it a little risky and go for the elims? If you're going to be going for elims, you definitely open up to a lot of spray, shotgun shots, AR shots, someone suddenly taking the high ground on you. So it all depends on how their play style is going to unfold, man.
Many more duos remaining in this game, unlike the last one. Zayt with another elimination right there on a KBB. You got Snappy and Red Rush on the high ground, and Saf
over the play. The high
ground.
Goes
to the high ground. Take, will he get it?
He's going to get it. He has it.
Zayt's got high ground. Zayt has high ground as they go to try to push for 2 victory royales in a row. Saf is there as well, but Snappy just appeared right behind Saf and shotgunned him down right there.
Zayt right now is going to have to concede to the high ground, giving it to Snappy. And he's just going to have to stay alive as long as possible, try to get some placement points. He is obviously a talented player, top player. He can definitely make something happen, and I'm interested to see what he's going to do.